Oh hey, welcome back to SquareMax Customs. This week we got something a little different for you. This 1980 J10, I mean, you can sort of see it back here in the bushes. We built this truck about 10 years ago. It was my brother's everyday driver. He drove it for, I'd say, about 4 years straight, 3-4 years straight. Well, one awful afternoon during a rainy, stormy, windy disaster, he was coming home on the dirt road and he came up over the crest and, well, there was a big tree down. And if any of you all drove these old vehicles, you know what it's like when you hit the brakes. You turn into a skateboard. Skidded right into the tree, smashed the whole front end, blew the doors back, the cab back, blew the steering or the dash right off the whole firewall. But we got a couple things we got to move. We got to pull the old Wagoneer out of the way, and then we'll get the tractor, hopefully, to help us out, and we'll drag the old J10 out. And we got a surprise for you. This will be a several part series, so we'll do as much as we can this week, and we're limited on time, you know. We work, guys. We got jobs. We got to pay our bills. We ain't made of money, but this one's just sitting back here, so dang, something biting me. You freaking wear shoes out here, not flip-flops. Yeah, well, let's get to work. So it was like 5 years ago is when that tree jumped out in front of him. And it literally sort of pushed the frame down a little bit, but it almost skimmed right across the top and, you know, just took his mounts right off. But it hit so hard, it pushed the whole freaking firewall in, the window. Now these doors, look at this. This is what blew our mind. This door is back. See how it's overlapping here? It also hit so hard, I don't know if you can see it, but the back of the bed pinched the freaking back of the cab, both sides, and put big dents. But check this out. This door's overlapping. Come on. Are you kidding me? No, watch. Ready? Watch this. What? Freaking closes better than my 20... Well, I don't have a 2015 anymore. I sold it. But, man, that door closes nice. And it's not right. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. So this truck used to be a plow truck. I'll see if I can get some pictures of it and I'll pop them up there. But it was rotted out. Like when we first got this thing going, this whole bed was like, woo, just flapped in the wind. A lot of this is not right. This was from, I mean, I was 22, 23, something like that. And I just slapped a bunch of galvanized metal in there and a ton of Bondo. And then we sent it up to a buddy of mine and he finished slapping some Bondo and some metal in there. And he primed it black. And this thing's held up for like 10-12 years. But it was bad. So same thing this side. See the doors overlapping. Hold on. It's rough, guys. We almost had it done. Like, he was driving every day. We still had little things left to do. But just so you know, he walked away without just a couple little scratches. Push this whole side down. Now we did rip this back out quite a bit. This was pushed right in. Now I'll show you guys something. I mean, I'm not, look at these lights. These are cheap freaking Evil Bay headlights. This one completely got skimmed. It hit so hard it broke the glass on the inside of the bulb. But the freaking outside Perfect. I think they were like, at the time, I mean, we're going back freaking 6-7 years when he put those headlights in. Jeep people, I know this ain't the right grill for a 1980. He put this on. This is a custom built truck. Like I bent up the floor pans, and this thing was rotted, and we pieced it together. But yeah, those freaking headlights didn't even crack. Old Evil Bay cheapies. Yeah, that's how hard he hit. It literally blew the freaking dash right off of the cab. But all right, guys, I'm gonna stop yapping. I just want to get this thing, give you guys a rundown before we drag her in the shop. She started life as a straight 6 4-speed, and we 360 swapped her and put a completely different 4-speed in from an older Jeep because, well, we axle swapped it and frame swapped it, and we did a lot more than we probably had to, but there was a lot of work put into this thing. Like I said, we'll pop a couple pictures, maybe a little slideshow of throughout the 10-12 year process of this thing. But yeah, she got some life to her. Maybe we'll plant that in a planter for the wifey. Put an old piston base or something. She dang growing good. Oh, it's got flowers on it. Ooh, score one for me, Brownie Points. Well, she's in the shop. So these things are pretty cool. I don't know if we told you, but this is actually a short bed. Like, it's hard enough to find Jeep pickups nowadays. At least here in Florida and in New York, it's real hard to find them rust-free. But short bed, guys, girls, and the government, not something you see very often. If you guys can see it, but we got a dang old group of sand cranes out here today. See how close we can get before they get mad at me. I call them dang kung fu birds. They're gonna get mad at me and get up on one foot and start chanting and stuff. These things are cool. They're big too. I mean, they gotta be all of 5 foot tall. Okay, I'm 5 foot, so maybe 4 foot. Can't get too close. These things are faster than me. If they come after me and there ain't no video, you guys are gonna know why. I'll have the wife post this up. Well, she's coming apart nicely. This engine, you know, we did tarp it off. It was a good engine, but after about 5 years in the Florida, well, actually after about a year in the Florida sun, the tarp just about disintegrates. We're not too worried about the wire and all that. Like this, we don't need all that stuff. We're gonna do something to this thing, but you guys are just gonna have to follow along and come back. Maybe the next episode of this, you'll be able to put the two together and figure out what we're doing. But just so you all know, we're not just cutting this old thing up. Like, it's been out there for years. Old Bubba over there, he real sad. This was his baby, his pride and joy. We're from up north, man. I literally remember plowing my driveway with this. We had a little tiny, I don't know, it was like a 7-foot plow on the front. And I pushed freaking snow with this thing. It did awesome. And that was before it was all lifted up. She was sitting on the ground, little tiny tires. But we're about to rip this front clip off. We just about have everything off of it. The engine's going to my dad. I don't know what he's gonna do with it, but him and my brother made a deal a while ago, so Popsy's gonna take the motor. It's old 360. It's probably got, how many miles do you think on this one, buddy?
This one had 130 when we pulled.
Oh, this was the low mileage? Your other one's 200,000. I gotcha.
Yeah, this had 130 when we pulled the Wagoneer.
The frame seems fine. I think it nosedived a little bit right here. It ripped that mount right off. This firewall just got crushed, guys. Like I said, he walked away, climbed right out of the damn thing, gave me a call. We flat towed this home. The whole front end was smashed in. Could barely see out the window. The whole dash is falling down, and we flat towed it home. Don't get me wrong, we were only a couple miles around the corner. He was, but it was. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. You guys got a favorite Jeep? I mean, Anybody on here watching? You guys got the old J10s or J20s? What were the older ones, like J1000s, J2000s or something?
Yeah, and then Gladiators before that.
The Gladiators. What's this guy's a Jeep freak. How many Jeeps you got so people know? They're all curious.
I got 7 at the moment.
7 of these things. So if you ever see us cutting one up, it's because we're gonna save something else. We don't just cut Jeeps up around here. And most of the time when we cut trucks up around here, it's because we need the parts to build another one, or we're saving a different one, or whatever the deal is. I'm just letting you guys know. Look at that, she's getting a chop top. Gonna go down 4 inches. So if anybody was curious, this is how you change the intake on an AMC 360 and a 1980 J10. See, right here was a problem. Old freaking back wall gasket blew out. But we'll get it back together and, you know, a few zap screws and some duct tape and should be good to go. Hey, I want to show you guys something. So redneck me when I was 20 years old and I built this truck. Are you cheap? Can anybody tell what these are? Here's the best part. I found a guy selling these online. They're hockey pucks. Drilled a hole through the center. Each puck equals 1 inch, right? So I found a guy selling a whole bunch of them online. I get there and he gave me them for 50 cents a piece if I take the ones that his German Shepherd chewed on. And well, we didn't care, so we bought a whole box of them. But here's another thing. So this frame went to a different year Jeep than the cab went to and the bed went to, and this thing's an abortion. I mean, I just freaking pieced it together the best I could. But here, check this out. What do you see here? 1, 2. So that's 2 hockey pucks. This is where the freaking core support got shared off. But it's still bolted there. So there's 2 here, right? That was for the front. What you got here? You got 3. That was for where the cab bolted on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You see that? Sorry. There's only 1. That's where the bed bolted on. So, I mean, I'm not sure what I did when I was 20 years old, but it seems like maybe this frame and cabin, it wasn't supposed to work out, but I made it work. Also, check out this spacer. I mean, I've been looking for those washers. Wow. But yeah, I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Wait, I got another one to show you. Now remember, you guys can bust on me if you want, but I was like 20 years old when I threw this thing together. Maybe 23 if I was lucky, 22, something like that. But check this exhaust out. So, you know, this used to be a straight 6, and it had a different 4-speed in it. So we had to sort of make all this stuff work. So the exhaust bends down, and it used to go down and back, I think, but we pointed it towards the engine. And we put this big old piece of flex pipe on it. So if you guys were ever curious if you could use that, I mean, he drove this thing for years with it on there, and then it sat for another 5. I mean, we're going 10 years since this thing was put together, and that flex pipe's held up. So that's pretty nifty. Look, spark plugs. He just replaced all that right before, you know, the tree jumped out in front of him. Oh, that don't look good. You guys see that?
Fresh oil.
It's fresh. It's definitely fresh. What's that? It's a milkshake, man. Oh yeah. I mean, maybe a little bit of water got in there. I don't think that tarp did anything after it. Find the hole. After it disintegrated. Yeah. All right. We're gonna keep chopping this thing away, and I don't know. See what we can end up with. Maybe separate the engine and the transmission. And then somewhere in here we're gonna, you'll see, just keep watching. So I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but
That's diesel exhaust fluid, man.
Yeah, I saw them. So I'm being lazy. We didn't want to unbolt everything, so we're just cutting some more stuff. It ain't like we need it. But and less water made it all the way up through the dual exhaust tailpipe back here and into it, which I don't think happened. I think she went right down through the, yeah, is what I'm trying to say is it might be a little bit of work to get this 360 running again. Yeah. Alright, buddy, open that door behind you, man. I got the frame. Push it open and get the other tire. Come on, faster. Roll your tire, bud. Alright, but it's stuck. Good. Alright, move this real quick. Never fails. Alright, buddy. Bring her out as a shot. Oh! Oh! Ouch! Oh!
You okay?
Oh! Oh! I tell you guys, we're freaking steel toes.
Thought those were your steel
Oh.
toes.
Hey! Got my damn. Ow!
Still going?
Well, would you look at that, guys? That'll be it this week at SquareMax Customs. You guys are gonna have to come back and see what else we got planned for this thing. But I mean, that ain't too bad for a day's worth of work. We completely ripped the thing apart. The motor's out, tranny's out, transfer case is out. This is out, and we got what's left that's good. Look at these floor pans. I mean, 20-year-old redneck SquareMax put these in. Didn't even freaking undercoat them or nothing. Just threw them in there and welded them in with a flux core welder. Don't be afraid to just throw stuff together. I mean, this thing held for 10 years. It held an accident. I mean, it didn't even pop, none of it hitting a tree and crushing the whole front end in. So don't be afraid to use a cheap Harbor Freight welder to get your projects going. Well, love you guys all. We'll see you next week.